Today we're going to make Sup-a Toscana. These are all our ingredients. We start with half pound bacon. This is pretty thick cut. You could use a regular thin bacon as well. 2 sweet Italian sausages. 4 hot Italian sausages. We need 1 cup of milk, whole milk, and half a cup of heavy cream with 4 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock and 1 medium onion, a couple cloves of garlic, tablespoon of flour, teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of salt, and about 2 cups of fresh cut kale, or you could use frozen kale. I prefer fresh. With our 4 potatoes, medium russet potatoes, we need a nice thick pot which is going to be heated before we start chopping our bacon. And you don't need any oil for this. Our bacon will release enough oil. Let's get started. Turning your burner in a low medium heat. Heating up our cast iron pot for about 5 minutes. Once our pot is very hot, we take our bacon and we just snip it with our scissors, and these are small pieces. I find the scissors easier than the knife. This till it's halfway, and then we add our sausages. I'll prefer using a wooden spoon for a cast iron pot so we don't scratch the bottom of our pot. With our wooden spoon, we start adding our sausages, snipping them with our scissors. They go quick. This is the hot sausage. Casing as well. You can remove the casing, but it's not necessary. Charred bacon releases a lot of grease. You don't need to add any more oil, fat, anything sort of, just whatever the bacon releases. After our sausage is cooked halfway, we add our chopped onion and our garlic. Put our sausage and our bacon are nice and incorporated well and crispy. We want this texture. Adding our chopped garlic and our onion together. Roughly chop with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, just let this simmer another 5 minutes. Smell the garlic and the onions together. We have enough bacon fat, so just saute your onions and your garlic as well, about 5 minutes. Removing our bacon and our sausages and leaving all the grease in the bottom. Just be careful so you don't scratch the bottom of your dish with a metal spoon. Then we add our flour to our fat drippings. We want our crispy onions and bacon in the bottom. Just add in our flour. About half a minute or so, because our pan is very hot. We're going to add our chicken broth, 4 cups, gradually. This is going to thicken our soup. Also, it's going to get all those flavors of our bacon and sausage. So constantly mixing it till all your crispies are melted away. Those are 4 cups of chicken stock or broth. Turning on the heat of our pot. It's hot. We don't need to add any more flour to this. This is our thickener. Add in 1 cup of whole milk and half a cup of cream. Constantly mixing till all these flavors in the bottom of your pan is nice and melted. That's what gives it the flavor of the soup. Returning the bacon and the sausage and onions back in our pot. Let this come to a boil, and then we add our sliced potatoes. Once our soup came to the boil, removing our lid, mixing. Don't let this spill, overflow, because our milk will boil. And then we can add our potatoes just about now, but this thickness to it, so our potatoes need to be a little thicker so they don't like fall apart in our soup. We need to cook this about half an hour to 45 minutes. We lower our temperature and we let this simmer in a low temperature, low burner flame, covering our lid. Once it starts to boil together with potatoes, we mix it one more time and we check it for our seasoning if it needs to be adding any more. All the seasonings are well done. It has a little spice to it from our hot Italian sausages. It has a little kick in the back of your throat. And if you don't prefer spicy, you could add all the sweet sausages. Add in our chopped kale. And just let this simmer about half an hour to 45 minutes. And that's how our soup looks. Perfectly colorful, tasteful. You don't need to add any more salt or black pepper. Our bacon releases salt and grease. Just cover them, simmer them in a low temperature. So once our soup starts to boil with our kale and potatoes, we just constantly mix it for about a minute or so. And we need our potatoes to be fork tender, not fall apart, to have a little bite to them. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. So we got our thickness of our soup just right. We don't want it too thick. Just with our wooden spoon. Remember, you don't want to use a stainless steel spoon or our metal spoon. We don't want to scrape our pot in the bottom. I'm using a cast iron pot. The best ones, you can use stainless steel pot when it's nice and thick, so it stains the heat and keeps cooking at a low temperature. My family prefers this soup. Soup is done and it looks wonderful and the way we want it. Nice, thick potatoes, and we need them just right. They're fork tender. Grating some Parmesan on top of our soup, serving it with some crusty bread. Very hearty soup. Just about right with our rustic bread. This is how I make my Italian Toscana soup. Hope you enjoyed the video.